Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum class. I am Engineer Sara Liaquat, your course instructor of the subject Emerging Construction Technologies. Welcome to the class. And class, in today's topic, we are going to study about fiber reinforced polymers. What are fiber reinforced polymers and what are the basic properties and what are the basic behavior of these kind of polymers when they are going to merge together with concrete structure? This is basically our today's lecture and we'll cover all the different parameters in detail one by one inshallah. What are the learning objectives of today's lecture? Definitely, we'll cover some key points from previous lectures as well as fiber reinforced polymer topic or this topic was started in almost 2 weeks before in last lecture as well, and I'm going to repeat some key points of that lecture so that you may revise all the terms, all the relevant criteria, and all the relevant uh, uh, properties which of FRP which we discussed about before. And next we are going to discuss in today's lecture the factors affecting the strength of FRP. What are the different phenomena and what are the different criteria on which the strength of FRP is judged? And one thing more, what which factors affect or weaken the FRP bondage with concrete structure? This will also be studied in today's lecture. Next, what could be the failure modes of FRP? Fiber reinforced polymer. FRP is basically the abbreviation of fiber reinforced polymers. And what could be the possible failure modes of fibers when they are connected with concrete structures? Other thing which we'll discuss today is how to install FRPs, these thin sheets of polymers with concrete structure to make it a complete and thick matrix of a structure so that it may fulfill its requirements of complete compressive bearing strength of any structure. So what are fiber reinforced plastic or fiber reinforced polymers? The first concept about this lecture is why they are known as polymers. Students, polymers are the long chains, basically a long chains of some organic materials and modules in which they form long chains and they are non-breakable. Basically, the behavior of polymers is different from other material in such a way that long chains present in the polymers are unbreakable, or if I could say it in more precise form, the breakage point, yeah, break-even point of these polymers is quite difficult to find out because they have strong bond of polymers together. So, what are the FRPs? It's basically a composite material. FRP is not a single material, it's a composite material. Two basic materials have been attached in FRPs. One is the normal fibers, and other one is the matrix, and the matrix is known as resin. If I'll give you a very simple example of fibers and metrics, if for example, place, if you have to place anything on the top of plastic or something, you can find any adhesive material for that, so that that sheet, or for example, if you're going to wrap any gift, so you need a UHU or a smart bond just to have the just to make the surface of that material more adhesive so that it can stick the fibers on it and it can hold the fiber on it for a longer period of time. So this is basically the phenomena of fiber reinforced polymers. What are the two basic materials of it? One is fibers itself and the second one is resin. What are the consequences, or what are the respective working of all these materials or fibers? Fiber provides strength, to your structure, and the matrix or resin, it basically binds the fiber with the concrete structure. And it's not only binding the fibers, but it also is transferring the load between the fibers, so that fibers plus matrix, they both bond together and make a one complete structure and one uniform and composite material. That's why it's composite material. It has high strength and high stiffness. FRPs has really high strength and high stiffness. And how is this possible? I'll explain you in the next slide with the help of this graph. Uh, this is a graph between stress on y-axis and strain on x-axis. And you all know that whenever there is a graph between stress and strain, it is basically to find out the Young's modulus of any material. And what's the Young's modulus of any material? It's basically the ratio of this much stress and this much strain. It means that how much the material behaves in which form whenever this much stress is applied on any material, what would be the result of that material in form of its unit length changes. This is known as your strain and the Young's modulus, which is basically the ratio between stress and strain of the stress and strain of any materials. So four types. This graph is comparing four basic material, in which one is your mild steel, which is normally used in RCC structure or for the reinforcement of concrete structure. Clear? And other three materials, which is carbon, aramid, and glass, these are FRPs. FRPs mean they are fiber sheets, and you can see the behavior of carbon fiber, aramid fiber, and glass fiber as compared to the mild steel. By just by assuming the strength and strain of FRP. So one thing which came into mind that okay, a little sheet, just like as thin as a tissue paper or as thin as any piece of cloth. What could be the strength of that sheet? But students, believe me, the strength of FRP sheets is much, much, much higher than the strength of a normal steel. As you can see from the picture, the steel has which is the very strongest material, and according to us our thinking, that steel is something really strong. This is out of this world. Steel is really strong and its properties and its abilities, but the carbon fibers and different fibers and FRP sheets are much more stronger than a normal steel. As you can see from the picture, the mild steel, it can take stress up to almost 1 gigapascal, but you can compare the steel strength stress of other materials, which is much higher than, if it is almost one, it is taking, steel is taking 1 gigapascals of stress, then carbon fiber is taking 6 gigapascals of stress. It means carbon FRP is 6 times more stronger and than a mild steel. And if you are talking about aramid fiber, it's taking almost 4 times the stress of a normal mild steel. And if we are talking about glass FRPs, then it's taking almost 4.5 times more stress than a normal mild steel. And you can see the behavior. This is basically the area under the curve diagram, and this diagram is basically the simple pointed uh, uh, plotted ordinates on the x and y axis for in between tensile strength and tensile strain. This for Young's modulus, and this is specifically for tensile behavior and capability or capacity of your fibers. Okay, what are the basic properties of these fibers? Carbon, aramid, and e-glass fibers. So in carbon, its strength is really high. It has quite high modulus. What does it means that it has high modulus? It means that after taking a lot of stress, its strain is really low. As you can see from the graph, It is taking almost 6 gigapascal of stress, but its strain is really low. So the ratio of 6 to 0.01 is really low. The ratio of 6 divided by 0.01, as the 0.01 will be it will be around 6,000 gigapascal. So that is a huge amount. So carbon FRPs has really high modulus of elasticity or Young's modulus. Another property of carbon fiber is it is excellent moisture and chemical resistance. Of course it is. Why? Students, see, the carbon has the most organic, most amount of organic components in it as compared to aramid and e-glass. So the more the organic polymers in any fibers, more will be its strength, more will be its resistance. Either it could be chemical or it could be moisture or water resistant. And it has really high cost. Of course it will cost you like seriously at an arm and leg. Why? Because of its abilities and properties. That's why it's not commonly applicable to normal buildings. It is only applicable to those infrastructure with you have million of dollars investment. Clear? So carbon fibers or any kind of fibers which are of course we are talking about and we are discussing in our today's lecture, they are not easily available, they are not readily available, or if they are available you cannot afford them to put them on a simple building or residential structure. No, it's not possible for you, because in if you compare the life cycle cost component of those fibers, then it will cost you an arm and leg, and the cost of those fibers would be much more than the construction cost, the capital cost of your structure itself. So these fibers are preferred to be applied on those structures which has millions of dollars of investment in its construction in their operational as well. Coming towards the second FRP, that second FRP material, that is aramid. Aramid has really high strength. But it has intermediate modulus of elasticity as compared to carbon, as you can see from the figure. Again, aramid can take almost around 4 gigapascals of stress, and you can see the strain. It is taking the strain quite high. Its strain value is quite high. That's why the almost the all the ratio 4 over 0.04 would be quite less figure as compared to normal carbon FRP. So it has intermediate modulus, then it's good moisture and chemical resistant. But the one property of aramid is really great, that it is has excellent impact resistance. And what is that impact resistance? Impact means it can take sudden vibrations or sudden vibrations of your structure. So it has quite excellent impact resistance. So consequently, what could be the conceptual question from this statement? It could be that for any kind of earthquake resisting structure, if you are going to make any kind an earthquake resisting building, and you have to incorporate fiber reinforced polymers over there as well, so what could be your best possible solution for that from all these fibers, carbon, aramid, or e-glass? Then your answer would be aramid, because it has excellent impact resistance. And you know, in earthquake resisting structures, earthquake resisting structures are built in those areas which are prone to earthquakes, which are prone to more earthquake. So you have and if they are prone to more earthquake, it means they have sudden impact forces, either lateral or either horizontal or vertical, on the structure. The structure is going to suffer from that horizontal and vertical sudden impacts. So you are going, the best suitable FRP for that kind of structure would be aramid structure. And definitely it's going to be high cost as well, but it's a bit lesser than carbon FRPs. Coming towards our last FRP material, that is e-glass. It has high strength but low modulus. Note lower, I can show you from the picture. It has lower modulus as compared to aramid and carbon, but it's quite good as compared to steel. It's almost taking double stresses as compared to steel. So it's don't don't be confused with this kind of statement that it has low modulus. It has low modulus, so uh, don't confuse with this thing that it's going to be break very easily. No, definitely it's not going to be break very easily, because you can compare it from the strength of a normal steel bars, and e-glass has low modulus as compared to the other two fiber materials explained below, explained before. Third thing is it has low moisture and chemical resistance. Definitely, it has low moisture and chemical resistance. And why is that so? Because glass, the composition of glass is made of silica. Silica is SiO4 basically. One silicon atom is bonded with four oxygen atoms, but for this molecule are making bonds together in order to make a more strengthening polymers. But silica and oxygen, they are prone to any kind of chemical reactions and moisture as well, and it has low cost as compared to the other two fibers, and it is sensitive to sustained loads. What are sustained loads? Sustained loads are those kind of loads which are continuously placed in any place, which are not changing their dimension, which are not either changing their latitude, or which are not even changing their magnitude with with uh, with sudden impact or sudden resistance, or uh, after a long period of time. Yeah, I'm going to repeat this word again. Sensitive loads are those loads in which are not going to be changed with specific period of time. It's going to be same. It's going to be remain same. Its example could be like this. जैसे आप slab pour करते हैं and you have the structural load of your structure is dead load, and your dead load means its movement is zero. So any structure with which has more dead load, it means it is the dead load is also known as sustained load, because your slab is not going to be moved anywhere throughout the life of your structure. बेशक 100 साल बिल्डिंग बनी रही है, but your slab is going to be present over there. Your walls are not going to be moved at all. So these are known as sustained loads. I hope my point is getting clear now. So next is fiber reinforcement polymer and their basic matrix resin. So I have in previous lecture I already had explained this slide with a lot of clarity in concepts and in different kind of terms used over here, but I'm going to repeat it once again. Uh, this is your concrete structure, and on that you have to place some resin to enhance the adhesive properties. It is basically the adhesive material which stick together fibers with concrete structure. So this is the in between. This is kind of the sandwich. The outer layer would be the concrete, the other outer layer would be the fiber, but the inner layer would be the resins. So what are the general properties of each structure, and what are the most prone areas where they can be debonded? The failure of FRP is also known as debonding. What does it means, debonding? It means that the fibers are going to have to break their bonds from the concrete. This is known as debonding. Okay. Fiber reinforced plastic or fiber reinforced polymers, what are the layered structure of FRPs in with concrete? Okay. Okay, you have a concrete structure, then you can have a primer over there. Primer is just to smoothen the surface of concrete. After that, it's just like कि आप अपने घरों में पेंट कराएं, then you have to smooth the surface. You must be seen that the painter is going to smooth the surface of your wall of the walls with some sandpaper. That is known as primer as well. Why they are going to use this? In order to make the surface more smooth, so that the adhesive material, which is the next layer of your concrete structure, adhesive layer is going to be stick together with the concrete, and there is no gaps, there are no gaps between these two layers. Adhesive material should completely cover the surface of concrete, so there may not be have any air bubble in this bonding in this layer of concrete and adhesive. After that adhesive layer, you have to place the FRP sheets over that adhesive layer and make it stick together. And then final coating would be the impregnating resins. What are impregnating resins? Impregnating resins are just like, you can take an example of this resin like that. If you are going to polish or paint the furniture, if you furniture of an wooden furniture, then what the carpenter do actually, they smooth the surface of the wood first, and then they add a layer of color on it or polish it or whatever. Then the final coating which any carpenter done on the wooden furniture is the varnishing. Varnishing gives two purposes. One thing, it gives the shine to your furniture, and second is basically a um, protective coating for your colors, or which you have already placed on your wooden sheet. So in with the same examples and with the same reference in the uh, material placement order, you can take the example as FRP for FRP sheets as well. Concrete, on concrete you have a layer of primer, then you are going to place and the adhesive material over it, and of course FRP sheets, and the final will be the impregnating resin that is going to behave as a protecting layer for FRP sheets. Now, one question arises over here: what does um, what can be happen to FRP sheets if we are not going to place the impregnating resin over the FRP sheets? So, this could be the conceptual question of this lecture as well. The answer of this question would be, the FRP sheets are going to swell up, or FRP sheets, if they are prolongly, um, if they are exposed to the weather in a prolonged period of time, then they are going to rupture definitely. Because in FRP we have a lot of carbon, and carbon, if it's of FRP is made of glass material, so it is not, it has lowest chemical resistance, it has lower moisture resistance, so your glass fiber is going to debond or is going to rupture soon. So impregnating resin is basically the protective coating of for that FRP sheet. This picture shows the FRP sheets of different materials. You can see the shape of FRP sheets, and you can check how thin it has. Very, very thin, some millimeters of dia. Its thickness is some millimeters, hardly 2 millimeters. But still, they are strong enough that they can protect a crack in the beam. As you can see in this picture as well, This thin sheet is going to protect a beam from cracking. Now you can imagine the strength of these materials, and you can see it's not covering like आपने यहाँ से लेके दूसरे end तक नहीं लगाया. You have just placed it over here. Half U, in half U shape, the half the dimension of depth of beam and in fully dimension in its width. Now you can assume the strength of fibers. These are matrix or adhesive resins. They are different in colors. And what could adhesive resins, which are more good to use with fibers, they could be polyester, vinyl ester, and epoxy. Okay, then this is going to be bond. It's going to be bond. There's going to be bond between resins and your fiber sheets, and you can check the durability. This is debonding of your this structure, and you can check the effect, the condition of this beam, and this beam is going to be, you can see इसके steel bars जो हैं they are exposed to weather now. It means कितना कमजोर होगा ये structure. This structure in its is right now, this structure is in its weakest form, and still they are going to repair it using carbon FRPs. So what are the basic popular FRP system taken throughout the world? This CFRPs means excuse me, carbon fiber reinforced polymers. And Japan, Europe, and North America, these countries are making fiber reinforced polymers specifically in carbon material. So you can check the shape of the fiber sheet could be this one, in which the fiber content is 200 to almost 400. You can check the shape. It's just like woven. It's just like a matte woven. जो घरों में चटाई होती है आप देखो सिर्फ उसी की तरह का लग रहा है. This is fibers. This is another system in which small and large needle-like structures are woven together. In it, fiber content is 600 gram per meter square. It means in this system E, the fiber content is much more than the in system this one. And if you are talking about system F, you can check a small slate-like structures are there. These were kind of needles, बारीक बारीक थी. But यहाँ पे देखें आप बड़ी बड़ी specific width की bands हैं, and the bands are placed together just to make the just to woven together just to make the carbon fibers more good. Clear? And the compressive strength of normal concrete is written like it could be 30 megapascals. The compressive strength on a normal concrete is 30 megapascals. But if this concrete is fail in structure due to the higher compressive strength, then these fiber contents and these FRPs are definitely going to bond these structure and held this structure together for more durability. Okay, the fiber reinforced plastic, how they are going to place? They are placed in such an order. For example, in beam, if it was present in the beam, then how did it was applied in half U shape? Because there was a flexural crack in the beam at that moment. But if we talk about the structural slab, then what procedure could be adopted for it? You have to make a box with the resins over the on the roof or on the ceiling, and in that resin you can place the strips of FRP, and again you can add a final sheet of impregnating resins over that. And this ये दो बंद हो चुकी हैं, इन पे sheets लग चुकी हैं, and they are going to place over here. You can check when they have placed the sheet over here, they are rolling it with a roller, ताकि उसके अंदर कोई air gap ना रहे, just to remove all amount of air bubbles from the FRPs and adhesive layer. Because अगर कोई एयर बबल रह गया तो क्या करेगी, वहां से आपका सिस्टम वीक होना स्टार्ट हो जाएगा. नाउ कमिंग टुवर्ड्स द installation of FRP system, what are the basic requirements for installation of fiber reinforced polymer system, and what could be the basic precaution which you need to do for any system? I think I should take a break over here, and the part 2, the remaining slides will be discussed in part 2. Thank you.